I always in my Discord, I'm pretty sure you've seen it. Like I'm always flaming Jeff players because it's like not to
Oh
their
yes,
face, but just in my Discord. So like 90%
Jeff
of the games
purpose.
with Jeff, I
I'm
lose.
here.
But it's funny because on my support account that I climbed, Jeff was one of the main heroes that I played because I wanted to play more Jeff. So I played hours and hours and hours of this character, but I hate him on my team. What made you
Towards
pick?
the end
What made you pick Jeff?
because kind of for one, I wanted the mobility, and we had a Luna, so I didn't feel like my healing needed to be crazy, just enough to at least to keep the team sustained and alive.
Okay. So this will be an interesting game to watch here. What is your kind of thought process going in as Jeff? Because I know you were playing Rocket last time we talked, and then you played a little bit of Ultron. So what is your thought process going in with him?
My thought process going with Jeff is kind of since we had a Luna, I'm thinking, all right, Luna's healing is enough to save anybody from death. So my job is to keep people as high as possible. So she has to do the least amount of work. At the same time, trying to be that nuisance on the back line that force people to, we need to get that Jeff before
Okay.
we can do anything.
Okay. Okay.
And as long as I can stay alive, the team can play.
Okay.
Because I'm on the back line damaging everything in front of me. My point of time was kill and do as much damage as I possibly can.
Right. And we know with the change, he doesn't really. He's not really good at flanking much anymore. I mean, he can do it, but it's not really necessary unless you can line up the shot, right? The main priority of this new Jeff now is to try to get as many enemies and or teammates in that jet stream as possible. I mean, that's kind of been how he was before, just with his team, not the enemy, but now because it does damage, that's kind of your main goal. And so the cool part about maps like these is it funnels your team already and it funnels the enemy team. So you don't really have to try that hard to angle it because it's already basically a straight line. So this would be a pretty good game to see how you play this out. Did you have any major problems with this game? What was one of the reasons why you wanted me to watch this game in the first place?
It was I felt like we was playing as a team, but I feel like we was playing so well, but yet we still managed to lose. And I just don't see what we could have done differently.
Okay. All right. So going into this, we already noticed that. Well, you don't notice yet, but you will eventually. That we have two healers. We have like two AOE healers. So we have Luna, and then we have Cloak and Dagger, and that basically means your team is down one, right? So it's basically 1v2 in terms of AoE ults. Now, this is not a negative thing, but you just need to make sure that every time you use your Jeff ult, it's as valuable as something like that. So you can use it to stop an ultimate, you can use it to reposition their front line or something like that. You can use it to grab Cloak and Dagger after she's finished dashing and then taking her off the map. Like there's a lot of ways you can make it work, but it is situational. And that's kind of one of the hard things about Jeff is you can't really do the same thing over and over because different teams, different comps, different ways that things are executed. So it's a little rough, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. How do you usually like to use it? Helping your team or more of just taking people away?
When I kind of suck with Jeff out, but what I try to do with Jeff out is kind of displace. Like, all
Okay.
right, let me grab these two healers, take them away. Now I don't got a healer. Now my people team play. If I don't kill the healers, at least by the time they get back, they gonna have half the team they did before. Then all we gotta do is kill the healers, or I'll take the tank, or I'll just take off the tank and take them somewhere until the other team can play. And if I manage to kill them, clap, clap. If I don't, at least I can get back alive and we can deal with the tanks later.
I feel that. Hey, your team's kind of getting pushed out. You decided to move backward a little bit. You're still staying in position, which is good. In a situation like this, it's not bad, but just remember that you don't really need to be that close to them. You really wanted to be over here. The reason being is because, like I always say, when you're clumped up, you're just going to get hit with stray shots. And if there is someone that can snipe or someone that can notice where you are with their shots, they're just going to shoot you. But if you're like this, you can still do what you're trying to do, which is heal your team and damage the people in the front. You're realistically not damaging those guys in the corner, right? Because you can't see them. So this is just a great way to protect yourself as well as help your team. This also gives you a way to kind of climb up here if you need to reposition. I mean, you could do it from the left, but again, you just want to minimize how many eyes see you whenever you play. Doesn't matter if you're DPS, tank, whatever. It's always the same for everybody. This is good. This is actually like a big step forward from the last time we seen your gameplay because one of the things that I already talked to you about was the fact that we never really repositioned until it was way too late. Like you tried really hard to just stay in the fight. But if you look at this fight, you started noticing it going south, and as you noticed it going south, kind of just decided to reposition well ahead of time. Now you could have done it a little bit faster, I'm not gonna lie, but the thing is, we have to get that repetition in the first place, and this was good. So the fact that we're
Like I
doing
seen
this is
it.
great.
Like I seen it go south. I'm like, is it gonna go south? It's gonna go south. I feel like it's gonna go south. By the time I decide, yeah, it's over.
And I want to ask you a question just to see if your head is there or not. Why didn't you choose to maybe come up here so that way you can look down and still heal at the same time? Instead, you decided to go in that the little pocket over there. Why did you choose to do that?
I chose because I did it because when it went south, I would have to go up that hill and over, which put probably for one put me in more line of sight of the team in front of me,
Hmm.
and it would have been it was easier to just swivel out so I can still heal and back up at the same time, opposed to having to completely stop what I'm doing, go up that wall, then heal again. And suppose if we decide to go in that room, I lost line of sight of everybody.
Right, right. Yeah. Exactly, exactly. Like, especially if your team decides to split up, like they go that way, but then the enemy's here, well then you can't accomplish your job because the goal of Jeff is to try to have as many people in your jet stream as possible. But if you're having them split up where you have to damage them here and then your team's over there, you're kind of already just failing at what you're trying to do. So I do like the fact that we went that way. For some characters, it might be a little different. But for Jeff specifically, in this specific scenario, I really did like that, especially because you lost one. Cap was down. So. And if you notice, Scarlet Witch is already up there. So you would have been bullied out anyway, and you probably wouldn't have been able to help your team, and you lose this fight. So, good job. Okay, we're just looking to retake. I do like how you're not trying to fight. I like that your main goal here is to heal. A lot of supports, whether it's high rank or low rank, a lot of them don't really understand when to balance the healing with the doing the damage part. And again, this is something we talked about. So it's great to see you improve on these things as time goes by, because that's obviously the importance of like the reviews and the coaching and whatnot, is to see that improvement. Here, yeah, they are clumped up, but you notice that your Emma's kind of getting a little bit low. And it's better that you just focus on her than it is focusing on the enemy there. So this is really good. You still focus on it. She then gets low again, and I believe you then... Oh, no, we already passed that part. I was going to say she got low again, and she went over here, but we got past that part. After everything gets situated, you started damaging the team again. It's always that balance. If any support you play, it doesn't matter if it's Jeff, it doesn't matter if it's Rocket, it doesn't matter if it's Luna Snow, whatever. You have to identify, like, when is it important for me to heal? When is it important for me to do damage? And then when can I do both at the same time? Jeff's a little bit easier. I'm doing both at the same time, obviously. But some characters can't, like Rocket. He can't technically do both at the same time. He needs to pick and choose which one he can do. And if you mistime it, sometimes that can lead to a lost fight. Now, I will say, why are we not putting down a lot of bubbles? What's up with the little bubble situation?
Me technically, I kind of use my bubbles when people low because I usually throw my bubbles at people who's low when they clumped up as a team. Because when you throw your bubble, not only do you get a speed boost, you get a healing boost. So I use that to compensate for my lack of healing. Because when you throw down a bubble and heal, you can 9 times out of 10 get a person from dead to healthy pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually, if I throw down my bubbles randomly, people just grab them and completely mess up what I'll be trying to do. Because sometimes I place my bubbles in a way to get me to a cliff faster.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of wasn't a situation where I needed to do that. And I didn't want anybody to back up into a bubble because I only got 3.
Right.
So I kind of do using I tag bit too selfishly,
Mm-hmm.
but I usually only use it when people are low and I need like that healing boost for like that last couple minutes, especially for Luna, who if I can heal boost anybody on my team, she could probably get them to full health pretty quickly.
Okay, and when we say heal boost, I feel like I already played with this Luna before. But when we say heal boost, what do you mean? What does his bubble actually do? Pop quiz.
His bubble. His bubble. I think you get like a speed boost, and you get a boost to your healing. So any healing that goes their way within I think like 5 seconds, you get increased healing
Okay, so
from you and any other healer.
it is changed from like that burst heal that you used to get, right? It's more a sustained healing more than like an actual
And
like
you also get healing over time.
yeah.
It changed from burst healing to healing over time.
So this means that is it better to use it preemptively or is it better to use it instantly?
Instantly?
Well, if it doesn't heal as quickly, shouldn't it be preemptively? Because realistically, this is something that is just very transferable from other games that I've played. Whether it be competitive or not, usually when you have sustained healing, it's better to already have that healing going before the fight actually takes place and or before they get low. This is why people that play Mantis struggle. They don't usually understand that you need to give the healing before the fight takes place so that as they're taking damage, as they're fighting, they're getting healed. With the bubbles, it's a little bit different because it's not as you don't have the supply that Mantis has, correct? Like you only have 3, and then if they sit there, you can get more, but the max you can place is 5. It's still not as much as Mantis, but you still want to think about it like, can my team use the heals more preemptively right now, or should it be instantly? If we're looking at something like Captain America, how does this character usually fight? Like, is he usually like a front to back, or he's like, okay, I'm gonna hit the person in the front and we continue to go as we delete people? Or is he more of a character that likes to kind of just run around and just play kind of wherever he wants to play?
He's kind of a random. He's kind of a random. He likes to play everywhere.
Right, right. And so in this, although it doesn't last as long as Mantis, I don't believe, if you can see this guy coming near you, right, and you're getting ready to heal him, maybe before he leaves, just give him a little bubble. That way, as he's fighting, he's still healing a little bit, and that's more of a preemptive heal. Now, what you were explaining is more like, well, if they get low, I can help them out. And in a situation like Hawkeye, because he's near you, right? If this guy drops to maybe like right here, you want to try to hurry up and get him healthier before he gets KO'd, right? That's obviously what you're trying to do. But there's a difference between tanks, DPS, and healers. More often than not, who has more HP than everybody else?
Tanks.
Mm-hmm. And now being a Jeff player, if they're low, how long do you think it takes for them to go from like maybe 10 HP to 100, like their max, 10% to 100?
Or like 10, 10 to 12 seconds.
It's a long time,
A
right?
little longer.
So if we know that it's gonna be much more work to heal them from low to high, why do we not just preemptively give them some health before they get that low? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm not saying do it every single time, but this is something to think about. As I always say when I ask you guys questions, I don't want you guys to feel like you're wrong because you're not. But I just want you to think more about things so that way you can already have it. You can already have it in your tool belt when you're playing. Cap is really hard to heal because this dude's permanently moving. Like if this guy goes to the left just a little bit to chase this KO, what do? How do you heal this guy, right? But if you already give this guy a little bit of HP from your bubble as he jumps in and he does that, he's still getting a little bit of healing from you. It's not as much as Mantis, as I said before, because hers lasts way longer, but that's still better than not getting any, correct?
Right.
So just kind of think of it that way. Again, not saying you're playing it wrong or anything like that, but I do want you to put more emphasis on his abilities because Jeff is not one of those healers that is there's some characters in this game that's very impactful, even if you don't know what you're doing. Jeff is not one of those characters. In order to be successful with this character, you need to know how to efficiently use every single one of your abilities, including your ultimate. That's why this character feels so lackluster to a lot of players when they have him on their team, is because most Jeffs don't do it properly. As I said before, I put a whole bunch of hours into this character. I don't play him as much in higher ranks just because that then becomes just like a ult after ult after ult type of thing, and Jeff just can't handle that. There's always some characters in this game that can't play at that rank, but I really do enjoy Jeff when I play him, and you can definitely tell a Jeff that's using their abilities efficiently versus a Jeff that's not. So just keep that in mind. Again, not saying you're doing anything wrong, but it's just always something to think about when you're playing. So we get this fight done. Cool, great. We win this fight. We have 2 minutes and 49 seconds on the clock. When you typically win fights, what do you usually do, if anything? Again, no right or wrong. I'm just curious. When you win a fight, where's your head at?
Fights like this, I try to think, all right, where they're gonna come from next, and where can I position to where if they end up doing a hella, I'm not gonna get immediately popped, or I have an escape route, or sometimes it depending, I would just sit there and kind of do nothing and just go brain dead and get killed. Sometimes, not gonna lie, but I usually try to figure out where I'm gonna be next, where are they coming from next, and how am I gonna deal with the situation if it escalates really quickly.
Okay, okay. So I do like that. I do like that. Now, most of the time when players tend to do something and they lose a fight, I think more often than not, they probably do the same thing again, right? They'll like come in the same way, they'll try to fight the same way, and there's no alternating between their styles. However, you do sometimes get a team like that. And so when you're playing, try not to be so easily read. You already backed off and went here. So even if you plan to do it again, what's more if I'm the enemy, like and I see you over there, what play are you going to do? Are you most likely going to funnel back to this or are you going to do some other random thing? Versus if you're here or somewhere else, right? How do I know you're going to go over there again? Versus maybe in there, maybe to the right, maybe this way, how do I know where you're going to go? So this is just something you want to think about, not just as Jeff, but just as a healer in general, is that the most of the times, if people get annoyed in a fight that they lose, what do they think about? Why do we lose? And usually it's the healers. Somebody get the healers. If that's how they're going to play on their next approach, we wouldn't want to be predictable, right?
Right.
So we want to try to make it so that way they don't really know where you're going to go when you do it. Because if I'm Iron Fist and I just jump at you and I know you're going to go over there, how are you going? You're KO'd, bro. You're not getting away from me. Versus if you're here with your team or whatever, and you want to go over there, if Iron Fist jumps on you here and you're like going down and going over here, look how much further he has to go to get to you. Whereas you are already in the spot he needs to chase you. Kind of see what I'm getting at here.
Right.
So just kind of mix it up when you play. We're gonna see how this match actually plays out on the second fight. We're gonna see if they go to where you are instantly, or if they try to.
I was thinking of going up top, but I seen Hawkeye up there, and I don't like both people being in the same spot.
Mhm.
I was so mad at this because if I didn't try to spit out my people, I would have got away.
That was a good grab, but why did we take damage in the first place? Let's look at who hit you. Where's Jeff gonna be? Oh, there he is. And she hit you. Got low. Why? Because we're in the same spot that we were before. You didn't even have to look at you. If I could turn that corner and just throw something, you're in that spot. You didn't move from the last fight. This is why it's important to move. Now, it's not something that happens every single game, but the higher you get, the more they're going to be like, where is that guy sitting? Where is that guy sitting? This is why a lot of Rocket players, especially in high ranks, generally like to move around a lot. So maybe they'll fight here, and then maybe the next fight they'll be up there. Maybe the next fight they'll be over there, because you don't want to be pinpoint and held down. You took so much damage there. You wouldn't have gotten KO'd if you didn't take damage in the first place. But you also could have bubbled yourself, and you would have been healing a little bit. So this is a good grab. One little trick you can do. I actually learned this from a one trick. I wish I knew their name because it was pretty cool. But you don't need to spit them out on the spot. If you really want to go off a cliff, what you do is you go backwards, and as you fall, you just spit your team out. And you can KO everybody at the same time while getting them out. It's something that you need to probably do in the practice setting first. But once you learn how to do it, you're never going to have to worry about stopping and spitting them out because you'll do it midair and it's not causing you any time loss. That's something that I highly recommend that you learn. It is very valuable. Like I said, I didn't really think about it until I seen a Jeff do it. And I was like, good gracious, that was like the cleanest thing. So in a situation like this, was it because you spit them out or was it because you took damage?
If I didn't take damage, I definitely would have made it.
Right, right. And so, yes, spitting out, that's something to learn from. Don't get me wrong. But I'd rather you learn how to not take damage. Or if you do get low, maybe heal yourself before you go in a situation like that. Right? That's a little bit more, that's something that has more repetition from game to game to game rather than just spitting someone out. Because what if you did need to spit them out right then and there? You're going to tell yourself, well, I shouldn't split them next to the team. But sometimes you do need to do that because you accidentally gobble somebody, right? So
Right.
I would rather learn from that situation of just being low. So we lose point there. I don't want to say it's your fault, obviously, but we had major impact on that fight. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Okay. Doing your thing, getting your lineups. As a healer, doesn't matter which one you are. I'm just putting emphasis on this. Is you always just kind of want to have an exit plan. You know, if you get chased, where you're going to go? It's just something you always want to think about because you don't want to be in a situation trying to figure it out on the fly. If anybody comes to you, Iron Fist, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Hawkeye shooting you, whatever, like where are you going to go? I mean, I think you're pretty good getting here if you need to, or go up there. But just, I want to put emphasis on it because you're not as close as you could be, right? It is possible to probably get you before you get inside or before you get up there. My point exactly, right? If you were closer to somewhere that you could get away from, you wouldn't have taken damage. Always something to think about. That sucks. But that's my point.
I would say.
That's my point. If we were
I feel
already
like
thinking about it, we'd have been good. But
I was expecting the thing to run towards me. I was not expecting the Scarlet Witch to ult. I was
yeah,
prepared for the thing. I was not prepared for Scarlet.
your whole fight kind of went wonky, to be real, and you didn't really have a backup plan for it. Like after he kind of ran into you, it's kind of like I'm thinking on the fly on how do I get out of the situation. But we could have just been over here the entire time doing what we were trying to do in the first place. Don't be afraid to like be far away as Jeff. It's his healing. No healer in this game, I could think correctly, no healer actually has fall off in terms of their healing. Their damage has fall off. So the further you are, like Luna Snow as an example, or even Jeff, the further you are, the less damage you do. Actually, I don't think Jeff has fall off.
Yeah, he does.
He does? Is it
He does.
his, maybe I'm thinking about his bubble.
It's,
His bubble doesn't have fall off.
it's
My bad. His the ball that he shoots, it doesn't have fall off. It does the same damage no matter where you are. The fall off is the radius, but not the how far it is. But in terms of his healing, it doesn't have fall off.
no.
So always keep that in mind. You know, your main goal is to keep your team healthy, right? So if you can be far enough to heal, do that first. And then try to close that distance. Yeah, we're chilling. Can't really do much. I wouldn't even bother being here until your team is ready. Just be whoa, that T pose though. Just because you don't want to get picked off. I know it seems very like I'm beating a dead horse, but it's literally that easy to get you because you're always in a spot where you shouldn't be for a few seconds. The cool part about it is you've gotten better at not being in the spot for a very long time. But how long do I realistically need you in a spot if I can KO you in the span of 1 to 2 seconds? Right? You only need to be in that spot for 1 to 2 seconds. So in situations like this, try to find yourself a good spot to be until the team fight is ready. As a strategist, your main goal is to figure out where the fight's going to take place, and then you want to figure out where can I be when that fight takes place. If we look at it this way, right, your team gets KO'd, where would the fight take place? It's probably not going to be here, right? So as the Squirrel Girl is hopping up here, it's kind of troll, realistically, because the fight's not going to take place there. The fight's going to be somewhere back here. So if you know as Jeff or just any other healer where the fight's going to take place, you shouldn't be there because you're going to get picked off eventually. Look where you are, but we know the fight's not going to be anywhere else. The fight's going to be probably here. If the fight took place right here, do you think you're too close?
Just a little.
Yeah. And, you know, I get it. You're not always thinking, not you specifically, but just everybody. We're not always thinking like, you know, where's the fight going to take place? You know, it's going to take place. It's hard because your brain's just kind of thinking about, we just got wiped, bro. I don't want you to take more space. Maybe I can get a little bit closer to like prevent you from pushing forward. But you lost your Emma Frost and you lost your Luna Snow. You're not fighting or winning any fight until they get back. So just let them take that space. You guys can reclaim it later. Let's see what happens though. Okay. Is it safe to say the fight took place exactly where I said it was going to take place?
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
And so maybe if Squirrel Girl was in a better position, maybe she could have been up here. No, that could have been better for her. you probably could have been in a different location too. Not saying this is bad because you're still with your team, but if you were to get jumped on, Iron Fist is coming. How close you are. Versus like, well, if I were to know that that fight was going to take place, maybe I could have been over here. It's not. It's kind of troll for you to be over here, but I've seen it. This way you're in cover. This way you can still heal your team, right? You're not trying to do damage. You're trying to keep them relevant. And as they pass this little point here, you can still do damage from here. The cool part about like Jeff and like Rocket and things like that is like they don't play traditionally. They can be wherever they want to be as long as they're impactful. So use the whole entire map. Don't feel like you need to be in specific locations. The main goal is to just have your team clumped up first. That's your main priority, is healing them. So if you could just have your team clumped up, you're good to go. You could also just go back a little bit further here if you really, really, really wanted to. A lot of locations, but we are really close. You see what I mean? Imagine if we already prepared for this and we were already far away and we were here. Then you don't have to turn your camera all around like this and try to. You would have already been prepared because the fight was taking place right there. So it's always something important to keep in mind. Where is the fight going to take place after we get wiped? And what can we do? You're there now! Wait a second. Why did we go here now when we could have been there 10 seconds ago?
I had the mindset to go up there, but things went south. And instead of going up, I went back. I don't know why I didn't go up there to begin with.
Yeah, you're fighting in the same location. It's just safer for you here. I think, like I said, you've gotten better at repositioning as time goes by, but just improve it a little bit further to reposition before things even pop off. Get that prediction down. What's going to happen if there's a Spider-Man and you know that he's going to come. For the most part, maybe positioning there is not a good idea because the dude can literally get you, right? So maybe you'd position here because you can still hear your team, and if Spider-Man decides to do something, he's really bad in areas that are closed off. So you can like go up here, right? Come over here, and he has a harder time getting you. It's all about that predicting. So I think if there's one major thing that would really help you at this moment is just being more preemptive with what you do in terms of just using abilities sometimes and just moving around and spacing yourself. Reaction is good, don't get me wrong, but I'd just rather you be prepared for everything before it pops off than having to react to it. That was good. Nice reposition once again. Here we go. This is perfect. You're safe. Good to go. So how do you deal with situations when you're being focused, though? Because if we notice, you weren't really being focused this entire match. What do you do when people start focusing you?
Stay alive. And one, I try to move towards my team a little bit more, but also kind of like usually I try to use. It depends on where I'm at. If I'm at a tank, I'm using my tank as a shield, and then I'm fighting. Especially if I'm Jeff, because I know I can shoot through that tank. So if I can put my tank in front of me and shoot, I'm good. If like a thing charges me, I know that I can outplay that thing, regardless of what healer I play with. Usually, I can outplay that thing unless he's like absolutely gaming. So I don't really so much worry about that.
Right.
A Scarlet Witch, I can kind of outplay her. The thing, Groot is the only person that really, Groot and Iron Fist is the one that gives me the most problem.
Okay. Iron Fist is a problem. Yeah, I think what you said makes perfect sense. Again, I would just think that being a little bit more preemptive, just like maybe even having a bubble behind you, so that way when you get scared or when somebody approaches you, you just dip out and the bubble's already there. I mean, that could even be said for your team. As an example, when Iron Fist just ulted, right? Like having the ability to move faster from this character, we would have had the bubble in the direction that they were running into, chilling. So if we were talking about this fight, for the most part, if people are going to run away, where are they going to run away to? They're going to run away this way, including yourself. So we could have bubbles already set. Whoa. We can have bubbles already set so that way they're in the vicinity. Because one of your main issues was the fact that, oh, well, the team takes my bubbles when I put it down, so I don't really like to put it down, as much. But in a situation here where nobody can really see, nobody can really see the bubbles because they're you're looking forward, they shouldn't be taken away, right? So I would like to see more bubbles just kind of placed down in these areas. I know you don't want to use them all, but to be fair, even if you do use them all, you're going to get more. And if you use one to heal her, the worst scenario is like it just goes away. But I'd rather you have it ready. So I do want to see, again, more of that. And it will, again, help you from running away if you're getting dove. Because what you explained, it was correct. But should those situations happen where it's like, okay, I really, really need to run away, but you're trying to like already put the bubble down, it could have already been down for you right now. It could have been down for your team right now. Everything, you wouldn't even have paid attention to be healing these guys right now, right? Maybe Luna even survives there if you had the bubble down. That situation, yeah, y'all are gonna take that L. I think your team already got like deleted before anyway. Yeah, the Luna was KO'd and then yeah, it just went south. I would have already jetted out, to be honest. You shouldn't have gotten hit. I don't think you should have gotten hit here. I think we're in the same scenario where we're a little bit too close. And I think we're not reading when the fight is kind of over. And I won't say over, like done. But fights are usually push and pulls. If you know that the fight's going to be done or it's not really going in your favor for this moment, you should probably back up, especially if we're tracking ults. How often do you track ults? And I'm not saying like, oh, it's been 30 seconds, that person has their ult. That's not what I mean. But how often are you like, well, Groot didn't use his ult last fight and he got KO'd, so he probably has it this one. Do you think like that?
Some games more than others. This
Okay.
game, probably not as much as I probably should have. I was
Right.
more tracking what we had than really what the team had.
Mm-hmm. I will say that you don't need to worry about every single character on the team, right? But you should worry about, well, on the enemy team, I mean, but you should worry about the more impactful ones, like the supports and maybe Groot. Um, Scarlet Witch doesn't really affect you too much. If you grab somebody, like, what is she going to do to you? She can't catch you with her ultimate. You should be out. So for the most part, I would probably just focus on the thing, Groot, and then the healers. I wouldn't really care too much about the other two. So that means you can eliminate having to focus on all 6 players. When you know that Groot gets close, you should probably back up. Again, when you know the thing gets close, you should probably back up. Otherwise, you're chilling. As I said before, you're a little bit too close in this scenario. But we had this replicate through the entire game, where it's like you only react, you reposition, and it, like I said, it is better. You want to say that it's better, but you reposition only when you are getting ready to be in danger. Like when we first talked, you're like you only reposition when you are in trouble. Like, oh my god, we gotta run away. Now it's kind of like it's a little bit when we're about to be in trouble, and then I'll move. But we need to be like already knowing that something's about to happen, and we should be already moving. If we do that, it'll be better. And even in this scenario, you didn't really have to move based off being in trouble. We could have just moved because where's the team fight going to take place, right? And just move back after that. So in this particular situation, I think your team gets deleted anyway, but I just think that we don't get KO'd if we just didn't position ourselves where we were. And it's funny because we was doing this the whole game, but the only time you got punished was this once, and then when Scarlet hit you. And that was pretty much it. So this is why it's important. This is why I bring it up a lot. Because it might not happen every single time, but I do know that sometimes wipes will just end up happening. Or even if you get picked off. I mean, picking off a healer is huge, right? So, always something to think about. You grabbed the 2 healers, which is great. Really good.
Don't matter, couldn't kill him.
Yeah, not with this
My
new
goal
Jeff.
wasn't to kill him. My goal was kind of to keep him back, make him have to go the long way, and then go back to my team.
That was good. As long as you make it out. Yeah, I like that. We come back, regroup. We hear Iron Fist somewhere. There he goes. So we should look for him. Nice. It was good. I like that. I like that. Now I have to keep in mind, though, you don't have ult for this next fight. So you're going to have to kind of play it accordingly. You know that you can get grabbed by Groot. You can get knocked up by the thing. And then obviously there's going to be support ultimates. So you got to be thinking about like, well, if they drop a support ultimate or if they drop an ult that I could have eaten my team out of, what do I do? And that again comes to positioning, right? If you are going to have a situation where your team needs consistent healing, you need to be in a position to provide it. You can't be blocked by Groot walls. You can't be trying to run away because you need to provide that consistent healing for that support ult or for Groot ult because you don't have that type of ult to help your team. Do you think right now we're a little bit too close? Or you think this is a fine position?
I do feel like I'm a tad bit too close, but I felt like I had to because that group wall, because group kept rolling people off, so I had to get a little bit closer so I could angle to get them,
Mm-hmm.
or just because I couldn't rely on the fact that Emma would back up past the wall to get healed. So I kind of had to, I kind of mindset of putting myself just a little bit out of position to get her.
Okay. And when we were talking earlier, what is the benefit of playing Rocket and Jeff? What are they? Why are they different from the other ones?
Because they could heal from just about anywhere.
Right,
They can be wherever they want.
right, right. Now, in this particular scenario, you realize you're getting walled here. So I'm gonna back this out, and you're probably not gonna get this right because nobody. Every time I always coach it, like I didn't even know that was over there. So where do you think is a good spot to be if you want to safely heal? Because where's the fight taking place? Your tanks are already over there, so this lets you know the fight's over there. Where can I be so that when Groot walls off, which he will, right? If Groot is facing you guys directly, then the wall is going to obviously be there because he's facing you guys directly. So where could we be? It could be maybe over here. We'll say one. We could say maybe two's back here, three's over there, or any other spot. Where do you think we should
Uh, mm, two?
think two?
I would
Okay.
say like near that health pack.
Okay. So,
But then I got the heal right there. This is
yeah, if you're near
yeah,
the health,
finding that health pack.
if you're near the health pack, it's better. But what if Groot ends up walling right there? Then what do you do? It's a tricky thing because Groot's freaking annoying. But there's also a little thing here you can be. So it's really hard. If Groot walls you, guess who gets to hit the Groot? Groot walls your team. Guess who gets to heal your team? You can heal from here. Now I didn't
I
number
never
this one.
I never processed that little area was up there. It never processed to me that was up there.
This is like the benefit of playing heroes like Cap, Iron Fist, Black Panther, and Spider-Man. Like you learn all these crevices because you're always moving around. Yeah, this is a really good spot because if Groot walls, you're chilling. Perfectly fine. Still hit Groot, you can still hit your team. Should your team gets pushed back, well, you just kind of move around here and you're still safe. You're still doing your job. You can even heal from here after you move from there. Remember, always have a backup plan. You can heal from here now, and you're still in cover. If you need to move, you can heal here, and you can keep rotating. This is what's different. This is the difference between an okay healer and a great healer. Being able to constantly reposition. Now, obviously, if you're playing Luna Snow or something, you can't sit there. But the mindset of having, where do I go next if something happens? Where do I go next? Where do I go next? That's what you should always be thinking about. And you wouldn't have gotten KO'd there. But your team got run over anyway, nothing you could do. I actually
That Scarlet
don't.
Witch came out of absolute nowhere.
I,
I didn't even know she was up there.
I actually don't know because I never tried, but I'm gonna assume you can. But have you tried knocking Scarlet Witch back with your bubbles?
You can't. She's no. You can't. You can hit her, but you wouldn't hit her out the ult.
Yeah, but I mean, can you move her back like Invisible Woman?
It's not enough.
It's not enough. I've never tried it. I was just
It's not
questioning.
enough.
Okay, I was just curious because I was like, I'm surprised you didn't do that. But this is why I said I don't like to think like I don't want you guys to think like, oh, I know everything. I'm a higher ranking than no. I don't. There's a lot of things I don't know. This is why I asked you guys. I was just curious if it would work. You say it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Or if it doesn't work that well to be consistent, then it doesn't work
It's
that well to be consistent.
you need to land all three of your shots, and
Okay.
it's still you still probably would die.
Right. Okay. All right, we get back. You realize that, she has her ult. You're just chilling. Root ults, whiffs. Luna's ulting here, which is good. Remember, where should we be positioning? We want to think about that. I know you're kind of like in the moment because the team fight is happening, but try to move around as you're fighting because you really need to think about how is the fight going to break down as like you need to be a few steps ahead. In a situation where the fight's already happening, it's a little bit more difficult to do because the fight's in motion. But again, do your best to try to think about like, okay, can I maybe come over here? If I come over here, I'm probably going to get KO'd possibly. So maybe I shouldn't go over there. And this should be going through your head really quickly. The more you do it, the quicker it becomes. It's going to be second nature. But what you're doing now when you just sat there, would you say that that was more beneficial than taking the time to come over here and heal from this angle? What do you think? So you think it's more beneficial to stay here, or you think it's better that I go over here? No right or wrong. Just want to know where your head is.
Probably would have been better to go over there.
Given the fact that the wall broke so easily, you actually would have taken more time not healing, running around than would be there. So I think you were correct. Again, I just want to know where your head was. Don't ever think that you're wrong just because I'm asking a question. I think this was the better choice. But the reason why I asked you is because I want you to know why it was the better choice. It's different just doing something good and not knowing why, but it worked out versus like, oh, I did that because XYZ. So the next time XYZ happens, I can then do that and I know it will work. You know what I mean? Because this wall was
Right.
put up between 4 players. Well, she's not doing damage, but 4 players, it's safe to say that you could break that wall before you would be able to come over here and start getting. So very good play there. We're just chilling, doing our thing. Again, I just don't want to be clumped up. Just beating a dead horse here, but it is that important. I don't want you to be clumped up with your team. You can do things by just angling yourself a little bit differently. Here, I could have definitely seen you healing as you're moving here so that it's better for you. Okay, then she ults. Here, I'm actually glad you're saving your ult. But do you know why? Did you just save it just because you didn't think it was a good time? Or did you save it for a specific
No, I
reason?
saved it because I seen Luna ult.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I seen Luna ult, so I'm like, there's no point in me ulting at that point. I was gonna ult, but I seen Luna ult. I'm like, I'm not gonna waste it here. And I seen then I probably would have did it after Luna ulted, but then I seen Thing ult, then I seen everybody else ult. I'm like, yeah, my ult's not gonna do a whole bunch here.
That's all accurate.
But I
That's
also
true.
tried to wanted to use it before the round ended, but at the same time, I didn't know what I was gonna do when I ulted.
Right. Right. I think you're on the right page to not ult. You're partly right. I'll say you're partly right of what I was thinking because I was thinking the same thing. But there's just one more layer to this. If you notice, your team lost this fight. So realistically, we should have already left. Again, we don't want to stagger, and then we just wait for our team to respawn, and then we use our ultimate. The thing about using your ult is you want to make sure you can capitalize on it, whether you're getting KOs or your team can do something about it. If your team's already run over, what can you do? And this is similar to Cloak and Dagger, Luna, Mantis, whatever. These healing ults, why would you use your ult if your team is KO'd, right? Doesn't make much sense. So it's the same logic here. It's like you can't do anything if you ult. You're going to be probably KO'd instantly. I would just like to see you run away. Just run away. You guys lost this fight. There's no way you win this fight. There's no way you heal anybody through this fight. Just dip. Do you feel like you... It's weird because I seen you do it this one game. Or this match. I seen you run away. But most of the time, it seems like you're just fighting to the last man. Almost every fight. Do you feel like here, you see how you're running away, but you're running away because you're in danger versus like you're running away because the fight's over and we just need to reset. Like, how often do you feel like, okay, the fight's over, I'm just going to leave, you guys do you? Or do you feel like I just have to heal until everybody's KO? Pretty much what I'm going to do.
And this specific situation, I kind of didn't escape immediately because I wanted Luna to leave. I tried to save Luna before I left, but Luna was being stubborn. And that's when we got pushed, and that's when I was like, it's time for me to just leave her and go. Because I didn't want her to die, because then we staggered. Then I live, he died, we staggered healers. Now we gotta wait for her to come back. And the team gonna come back before she does.
Hmm.
But then it escalated so quickly that I was like, I can't save it no more. And I had to leave.
Hmm.
That's when I decided to just leave.
Okay. I would like to have your focus be more on leaving the situation rather than saving your team. If we focus on leaving, you could just bubble her and she gets that movement speed. But because we're focused on saving rather than leaving, you're not really thinking about that. Also, your team's gonna get KO'd anyway. Doesn't really matter what you do. If they're in a bad spot, they're in a bad spot. But I want you to think about something real quick. Let's just say this is Luna Snow and she's chilling right here. And you're gone, he's gone. Do you think Luna Snow is going to continue to sit there, or she's probably going to just turn around and start ice skating away?
Probably gonna leave eventually.
Right. You, as a player, all of us, we have body languages. If we look like, oh, I'm fighting, we can do this, we can win. When the fight's over, she's going to think the same thing. Then he's going to think the same thing because both of them are there. And then when someone else comes back, oh, they're all fighting, let's go. But what happens if you're back here, Cap sees you there, but only sees Luna there? Does Cap try to fight that, or does Cap just wait with you? What do you think? Most likely.
He's probably gonna wait.
Yeah.
But with Cat, you know you don't necessarily understand what.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right with that one. Cap's a wild card, but consistency, right? If we know the fight's not going to win, then we just dip out. Because if Luna gets KO'd, okay, I'd rather Luna get KO'd and all five of you are healthy. Because what happens when you ult? You take people off the map. It's in your favor regardless if Luna's alive or not. But we're so focused on like keeping her alive. Oh, look, he's even doing the same thing. I have no HP, but my healers are there, so we could keep fighting this. In what world do we do anything here? This is a cloak and dagger ultimate. Like your teammates are trolling, but they're only trolling because you're trolling. Realistically. And so this is one of those lead by example things. It's very hard to climb out of ranks if you're doing the same thing that they're doing. What sets you apart from that Luna? You're in the same exact spot. You're doing the same exact thing. Nothing, right? This looks like identical gameplay. But if you want to climb, you got to look different. What would be different? Running away, not even healing, letting her KO. The longer it takes for her to KO, the more there's going to be a stagger. If you just let her KO instantly in the span of 2 to 3 seconds, it's way better than trying to heal her through letting her survive for 10. You see what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So I
That makes
know
sense.
you want to help these guys, but man, they're here for a reason. You want to get out, you got to do you. Now we actually talked about this last session too, where I was like, you don't deserve to be here, so we shouldn't be playing like these players, right? We should be doing us. If it's a bad situation, man, it's a bad situation. Like I've left one above all players because they're in a bad situation. We're all human. We all make mistakes. The only difference between high rank and low rank is that high rank makes less of them. So it's just always something to think about. It has to make sense to you. Otherwise, don't do it. You're not there to save people. You're not there to make friends. You're there to win the match. If I can stop the stagger to win the match, then I will just won't stagger. So it looks like we're running 3 healers this time. With a penny tank? Bruh. Does this work?
No.
Y'all get pretty far, I guess. Okay, so Jeff laughing cracks me up. He just be laughing for no reason. Jeff just be talking for no reason, dude. Just making noises. Okay, we have 2 healers on our team right now, correct? So, with this in mind, who's better at healing out of all 3 of you guys? Like, or who's the worst? I'm sorry. Who's the worst at healing out of all 3 of you guys?
This is gonna hurt my soul a little bit, but Rocket technically. I mean,
Really?
technically me. Well, it depends. Rocket would be a better healer for me in this specific corridor, but once we get up,
Okay, I see where you're going with this. I see okay, how about this? Which one's the least consistent in their healing?
Rocket.
I wouldn't say Rocket. Rocket could pretty much heal without even trying to. If someone turns this corner, how do you heal them?
Oh, they cook.
Yeah, so realistically, the quote unquote better healer, or the worst healer, I'm sorry, quote unquote, in a vacuum, is Jeff. It's situationally, you brought up a great point, and I do like that. But I'm only asking this because we have 3 healers. So situationally, it can change, but just in general, it's going to be Jeff. He's the worst healer out of the three. That's good though, because this means that you can go do some other stuff while your healers are healing. You're not that great at it anyway, and your healers got you. They have Rocket, they have Cloak and Dagger. So what we could do is try to do a little flink. When we try to push an objective, we have to think about what's preventing us from pushing the objective. If we're against the Penny, most of the time it's going to be that nest, right? So if we can get to a situation where we're able to get into a nice juicy spot, wait for our team to get close, and then just destroy her nest real quick, what's going to happen? Well, there's two things that's going to happen. Either we're going to get the nest and we're chilling, or they're going to all look at you and try to fight you. Either way, it's a win-win because you'll just run away and then you're wasting time and then you go right back and destroy the nest. That's what I would want to see because I feel like it's easier for you to do. But let's just see what happens. I mean, the nest is in a really bad spot. Don't get me wrong. So you don't have to do it yet. But if you start noticing the nest in a really good spot, you're going to have to try to do that. That Wolverine was trolling. I'm not going to lie to you. It doesn't look like you even need to reposition for the nest. Oh, yeah, you do. Okay, so you're trying to heal now. But right now, does this fight look probably over? Or do you think this is salvageable?
If the Penny don't die, yes. But look at the Penny health looking like, probably not.
Right. I would say that this is probably over. I could be wrong. You could be wrong during the match. But remember, we want to identify when it looks like we're losing. If we're losing and our team gets KO'd, what can we do as Jeff? What was one of the things that I just said that we could probably do to make the game easier for our team?
Bubble and leave.
Well, that's true. That's true. But in the sense of saying we had 3 healers, what was the strategy that I said you could possibly do to deal with the
Right.
Penny Nest? Yeah. If they're all focused on here, KOing your team, and you know it's imminent, it's going to happen, dude. You could use this as a distraction and get yourself somewhere nice. Next time your team reaches here, they don't even know you're there. And as soon as stuff breaks off, destroy the nest. Use it as a distraction, as a way to reposition yourself if you think the fight's over. I honestly think this fight's over. There's not much we can do about it. Everybody's in a really crappy position. But I could be wrong. But let's see how it unfolds. Perfect. I wasn't wrong. I mean, I was wrong. I'm sorry. But you weren't wrong. This is great. But now, would I have just stopped healing? No, I definitely would have continued to heal at the same time I was trying to reposition. But I would have took more emphasis on repositioning. And if I noticed that, okay, I was wrong, because we don't really know, it's not a snapshot, right? It does have to kind of play out a few seconds for your brain to be like, all right, I see what's happening here. But this is something that I want you to identify, because if you can see the timeline of a fight, let's just say highs are when your team's winning and lows are when your team losing. If we could see that type of thing happen mid-mat or mid-fight, this is going to be beneficial for you because you're going to be able to identify what we should do next. If we notice that, okay, it's starting to go up, great, I could be more aggressive, I could position more up, I don't have to worry too much about it. We already picked somebody off, awesome. But then once it starts going down, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to go back to my neutral play style, chill out a little bit. And if you start noticing it going even lower, it's like, oh God, I'm gonna have to start running away and backing off a little bit. And then you start saying, oh, Penny got more HP, cool. Then we're chilling, we can go back being aggressive. And you see how like through this entire process of, wow, that was way off. Through this entire process, your play style is changing through the entire fight. It does not stay the same. This is why in that situation with that Luna, you got KO'd, everybody got KO'd because we didn't really adjust. Even here, we didn't adjust, but it worked out. Even here, that first fight, we funneled into here, which is good, but we didn't really adjust in terms of it being a loss or won. Why? Because that fight in particular didn't have an up and down. That fight kind of was like more like this. It's kind of like that. So it didn't really have to need sharp adjustments. The more of a swing the fight is, the more you're going to have to adjust on the fly. I wanted to just bring that up because, again, if your team would have KO'd there, you would have lost the ability to reposition without being seen or heard because the fight was going. But as your fight starts to win, again, you're chilling. I like this, but just reposition. Just kind of come over here. Be preemptive with it. Be preemptive with it. If they're going to be coming out and they're trying to look for somebody, for the most part, they're going to either come from here, here, or here. So we want to think about, well, where's probably the best place for us to be if someone were to pop out and try to get us, whether it be Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, whatever. It does not matter. Whatever characters decide to run at you. Is it safer to be here? Is it safer to be kind of like up here? Or is it safer to be over here? Remember, the goal of cover is not to remove damage from your character, it's to minimize it. If you get dove, eyes are seeing you here. If you get dove, eyes are seeing you here. But if you're dove by one character here, who sees you? You also have a lot more wiggle room to go up and go down, go up and go down. Whereas this, you're getting shot, you're getting, you kind of see where I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
So be a little bit more preemptive with where you're moving because you're able to just adjust on the fly. Like even right there, you see how far you're going from your team? You should be where Penny is. You're eliminating yourself from the fight. And that could have easily been remedied by just being over here. That's all it took. I'm going to see. Could you even KO? Was she getting low? Dude, you're telling me you couldn't KO her right now? With your whole team shooting her if you were here? It would have been close. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, no. It would have been close. It would have been close. But you still could have helped. I actually think you could have KO'd that. For you to KO a target, if you didn't know, it's usually your entire clip. You need to land the entire thing. I'm pretty sure. If they're 100% HP. However,
depending on how far you are.
Yeah.
If you're a good distance, you won't take air card. If you're pretty close, you can KO a person fairly quickly.
Maybe by like 50 if you're close. But I think for being here, you're probably not close enough to do that. It probably is going to be possibly the entire clip. Because she is pretty far. When she started coming up. Oh, to be fair though, you would have been hitting her as soon as she did this. So you'd be hitting her now. I'm more than confident you would have taken her out. I'm more than confident you would have taken her out. Do you feel like that? Or you're like, nah, Pop, I don't think you would have got her.
With my aim, I mean, I could have because I would have been shooting her long before she ulted.
Right.
So I probably could have killed her if I was in that position, and I probably would have lived, considering that Penny didn't die when she popped off the ult. So maybe
you also could have just bubbled your team too, but we used it on yourself. You were over there. So, there's a lot of what ifs in this game, obviously. Right or wrong, a lot of what ifs, whatever. We know this. But just positioning in different spots means that you don't have to move as much. If you don't have to move as much, this means your uptime on damage and healing is higher. This is good. That's what we want. But the more you have to run away and reposition, the less time you have to heal. Right? If there's a 10-second fight and you can heal the entire 10 seconds, I'd rather have that Jeff than a Jeff that can only heal for 5 of that. Or any healer, not even just Jeff. You know what I mean? That positioning is like, it's huge. It's huge. You want to minimize how much you have to move. It's better though. As I said before, it's better. I'm not knocking you. It is better. It is better. But it can be even, even better. That's the whole point, right? We always can improve at something. And higher you go, the better aim their team is going to have. So if they're going to have way lower time to KO than where you are right now. You see how like nobody was able to KO the Scarlet Witch even though your entire team was looking at her? That doesn't happen in high ranks, which means that if you're trying to sustain her through that ult, you need to be active the entire time. You can't do that if you're moving around. So, always something to think about. Cool, great, we're pushing forward. Think about what? Where is the fight going to take place? Is it going to take place where you are, or is it most likely going to take place maybe around that corner?
Maybe around that corner.
Right. Are we in a position to have that fight?
No.
Right. So there, go this way, and maybe sit up there, but that's really dangerous. There's a lot of people that can just straight up look at you or target you. Or we can go this way, be in here, and kind of hug this wall. Or we can even play behind this if you really, really want to. But the reason I want to play behind this is because you'd rather have line of sight. It'd be kind of weird to like wiggle around this thing. Cool part about Jeff, though, is he's small. So you can kind of just do this if you really want. But we don't want to be in the clump, right? We don't want to be in the AoE smacks. So you could do it from here. Break this wall a little bit, too. I don't believe it completely breaks. I think it breaks kind of like this, which is just high enough for Jeff to sit and chill. So you just hang out here. You heal your team. You can even go up here if you really want to, but I would wait until it pushes a little bit further to be up here. You got a lot of wiggle room to play the map. Okay, so your team gets pushed. Penny starts running at you. The fight didn't take place around that corner. As I said before, this is why you look as you play. I would have thought the fight would have taken place around the corner, especially because Penny ulted. Then their Penny ulted. So then you'd have to adjust on the fly. How do we deal with this? We definitely should not have been in that group, though. So whether or not you decide to move forward or backwards, we need to not be in a situation where we're right in our team every single time. I don't mind the ult.
I was so bad.
I don't mind the ult, but
I wanted that cloak and dagger so bad.
yeah, that was gonna be. That's
I
what was the
forgot she
thing.
had it. And as soon as she did it, I'm like, dang, she did have it.
Well, do you think the cloak and dagger was the right target to ult there? In that situation. Like, what would you, if you were to ult
Hard to
cloak and dagger?
know.
Well, when you
I
ult, you
probably
want to
could
know
have.
why. So why would you ult cloak and dagger here? What was even the thought process, right or wrong, if you feel? But what are the thought process?
My this thought process was, all right, tanks moved up, DPS moved up, healers in the back. So if I could just go over there, sneak off, take at least if I go in the back, sneak off, take 2 healers out the game, we won this fight.
Okay, but they have 3 healers.
Luna by herself, in fact, one healer by herself is not going to be able to sustain an entire. It's not going to be able to sustain an entire team, especially when we got everybody there. And I'm pretty sure I had confidence I would be able to kill a rocket on the back line and be able to get back. Honestly, I was ego in this point. I'm gonna lie.
If
Like
you,
I had the confidence I could take both of them out, get back to the fight, and at least they will be able to get a pick because our whole team is still alive. We only lost Moon Knight,
I
and I
think
knew our
that
spawn is right there behind us.
I think that the cloak and dagger targeting was right for the wrong reason. If we were tracking ults, you would have known that she would have had their ult pretty soon. But I would like to see you eat the Luna and the cloak and dagger at the same time because their ults are coming. But also, Rocket has ult. So no matter how you dissect this, somebody's about to ult. So you don't actually benefit ulting anybody here. However, if you take away the front line, how is the team going to defend themselves?
They can't.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really matter how you like slice this. They have ults to survive that fight, regardless of which healer you take out. There's 3 of them. But if you take out the frontliner, nobody's going to be able to hold any space. That's literally the tank job. And their other tank is KO'd. So either they're going to burn their ult and waste it with no tank, meaning that they're not going to get anything accomplished, or they're going to just back up and give you that space and this fight's win. Either way, it's a win-win. But let's see how this plays out.
Not the way I wanted it to.
Well, Cloak and Dagger does end up ulting, right? Groot is giga scared for some reason. I don't even know what's going on with him. But imagine that whole thing played out, but there was no Groot in that situation. That would have played out way better for you guys. So as I said, the Jeff ult thing, it's situational. Every single moment is different. You can't always go for the healers. You can't always go for the tanks. You can't always go for the DPS. It definitely needs to be situational. You could even save it for the Groot ult if you really wanted to. I probably wouldn't because you can't guarantee that Groot's going to grab your entire team. But just to get rid of the tank for that situation, I would have just ulted.
A good Groot, I wouldn't have time to ult and eat everybody before he kills everybody.
That's true. I give you that. You can also eat her out of her ult too. The Scarlet Witch.
I will have to get it before she. I will have to get her before she comes off the ground. That's a start. I have to get it at the start though.
You can get her. You can get her in the ult, or you can get her when she's in the air. His hitbox is fairly high. Like it's pretty freaking high. Pro ulting. Is she ult already? Oh no. Oh yeah, she did. Her ulting here. You can't eat that?
Yeah, I can get her
You can
dead.
get that for sure. Especially if you grab it right here. She's grabbed it. So there's a lot of ways you can use your ult in this particular match. The sucky part is there's a penny. So if you ult and grab somebody, you can probably blow up. This is a hard Jeff game. This is a hard Jeff game, man. There's so many ways that you probably need to use your ult, but you just have to think about how is it more beneficial. Would I have saved my ult every time for the Scarlet Witch this match? No. There's no guarantee that she can really land that ult on your team. That was interesting. That was interesting.
I ulted there, but simply because I seen Luna up. Like, oh, Luna ulted. That means everybody gonna walk on Luna up. I couldn't find a way to kill him though.
Okay, as long as you
So
don't get
that's why I don't
KO'd.
like Jeff ult. Had no way to kill him.
Oh yeah, you
I
can go up
lived.
here. Go
Just
up
didn't
here.
have no way to put him.
Go up here. You spit him out right there. You didn't know that?
At that point in time, I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
I had the Scarlet on my butt. I wasn't thinking.
That's all right. This is actually really good anyway. You did what you wanted to do, which was make it so that they can't play a night ult. Even if you get KO'd, if they're able to KO that Luna, it was a great trade, especially because you have 3. What did your team actually do with that? They did. That was good. You could have survived and actually KO'd their team. So this is one of those moments where you had it. You didn't cause that fight to be lost. I don't even know if it's going to be lost, but you didn't really cause that to be a lost fight. But you have major, just like that other ult that you had before. Every hero or every player in the game has major impact at some point. You just not throughout the entire match, but there's little selective points. And all you gotta do is play that part really well. You're chilling. I think that ult you could have KO'd him, but I think you did a really good job making it so that you trade 1 for 1. I'd rather have the Luna KO'd than the Jeff. Easy. So good. You guys lost this, bro. This is going great. Don't really know what happened.
This is why I don't, because we did. And this hallway is when we got just hard stuck.
Okay, let's see. I would just like to see you come over here. Talk about this. Come over here. You're able to do a lot. Look at that. Ness gets KO'd there. You're able to still see your team. You're not in any danger. I would like to see you reposition it. Are you afraid to like walk forward near the tank to reposition? And I'm not saying like on the tank, but I noticed a lot of the times when it comes to repositioning, the only time you actively reposition is when you're going backwards. You don't really do it going forwards. Are you afraid to do that? Are you like thinking you're going to get picked? What's going on there?
This was a situation where we had 2 pennies, and I have a hard time distinguishing our penny nest from the enemy penny nest.
Mhm.
So it's like I don't know. Going forward, am I gonna run into an enemy nest? So I kind of couldn't really move forward the way I wanted to because
Mhm.
I didn't know what nest was ours.
That makes sense for this fight, but even within the last round, a lot of your repositionings was backwards, not forward, and they didn't have a penny in that one. So there's definitely something going on to where you don't move forward as often as you could to get a better position ahead of time. So I don't know. Maybe you just don't think about it. Maybe it's just like, well, I don't really think about moving forward until my team's moving forward because I want to heal them. And by healing them, they need to be clumped, right? They need to be together. But this is just such a great angle for you to be at so you don't take damage and you're still doing what you successfully want to do. So that's why I was asking. I was like, I don't really know why we don't move forward throughout the entire match. And if it was something that you're struggling with in general, or if it's just where you're not really thinking too much about it.
I don't really think that. I don't really think that far into it in a fight. And I feel like going forward, I don't like to put myself all alone because if I get died, it's like I gotta run into the team. Then the team is already in a team fight. So it's like it's either I got 2 options: I'm run into the team or run to the team. I'll run off by myself. Depending on who died me, I'm cool.
Okay. What did we say the important thing for a strategist to have? What separates an okay strategist from a great strategist?
Having an exit plan.
Right. Right. So just in this particular situation, whether or not you did it, that's not what I'm really asking. But in this particular situation, is there anywhere else you could go if you get dove? Let's just say this wall was obviously not broken. So as they see you and you're here, you turn around, there's an exit point right there. You can also just hang out right here and still do the same thing. Use cover. They dive you, go up here, chilling. They're not going to want to chase you this far. And then you just go right back down. So although I do understand you are a little bit in the danger zone, so to speak, if you have that exit plan, especially with a character like Rocket or Jeff, and again, they can kind of be wherever they want to be, it's okay. Because you can still accomplish it. It's not something you do every single match and every single point, but in certain situations, to get a better lineup, especially against the group, you might have to do it a little bit more frequent. That sucks. You guys are massively stuck here. Whoa, are you typing? Oh no, you're swapping. Oh, you did say you swapped the Thor. Do you think having another tank was why we couldn't push there?
No, I just felt like 3 healers wasn't I guess, at the time, yes. I feel like maybe if we because Penny was kinda tanking alone, and I really didn't felt like I was really doing anything myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm like, I've ever just switched the tank, try to at least try to help Penny and see if that was the case,
Mm-hmm.
then sit here and just try to play 3 healers and just sustain the fight this whole time and not get anywhere. That and we only had like 14 seconds left, so it was a Hail Mary play.
Okay. I don't mind the swap, but I just want you to understand why you go for it. A lack of a tank isn't why you can't push, because you guys are pushing fine with one tank. So that's not really the thing. What we were doing incorrectly, so to speak, was we weren't thinking about what type of team we had. When we look at our team comp here, a bit further back, are these characters, all of them, are these characters that come online when they have ult, or are these characters that are almost always online? What do you think?
Moon Knight doesn't get the most value until he ults because half the time you don't notice he on the field. Hawkeye, yes, if he can land headshots.
Mhm.
Penny, kinda sorta, yeah.
So majority of your team needs ults to be online. I mean, even Penny, when it comes to pushing forward, she needs her ult. So she's good at camping, but she's not good at pushing unless she has her ult. So the problem wasn't another tank. The problem was just we didn't have our ults. If we play out these previous fights, let's see, did we fight when we didn't have our ult, or did we fight when we did? So let's check. So we're going in, we're going in, we're going in. Do we have ult yet? No, we don't. Now Cloak and Dagger has ult. So we should be able to play the game when she ults. Does anybody get KO'd before that? Nope, we're able to push forward, we're able to get some ground. Cool. Now Moon Knight has his ult. Who's he able to use? Cool. So you see how we're moving because we're ulting. Now, we don't have any ults. Well, we have Hawkeyes, but like at the moment, nobody's using it actively. So no progress is being made. Why? Because these characters need their ults to make progress. So it wasn't a 3 healer thing. Honestly, being able to sustain until you have your ult would probably have won you the match, just because you're just waiting for your ults to be useful. It's a more slow-paced gameplay. However, if you had something like a Black Panther, a Thor is a great example, a Hulk is a great example, Cap, great example, Magneto's great example, Strange. Some of these characters don't actually need their ult to make progress. They can just do it by how they play. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So in a situation here, as much as you guys want to move forward, yeah, we could have repositioned differently, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Your team just can't do anything because we don't have ults. Okay, Jeff, or not Jeff, but Rocket has ult now. So he should be ulting. Now you ult, but you didn't have to. Because Rocket had his ult. So I would have just waited for Rocket to ult. Because you got to think, if you grab someone and take them out, how is Rocket's ult useful if they don't have anything to shoot? Yeah, it won't be, right? Dude, that guy should have been ulted, that Rocket. Did you eat him? Is that why? Oh, you ate Moon Knight. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why the guy didn't ult. That's wild. Oh, he ulted now, but he ulted really late. But just imagine you waited to ult for that few seconds. And then you ult here. Not there, I'm sorry. Here. When Groot walks up. It'd be a little bit better. But imagine if we just didn't ult at all and we played off the Rocket ult. Because that was the more important ult, not yours. All we had to do was wait for the Rocket. And he would have ulted. You probably would have made this guy survive. And again, if you were positioned over here, definitely would have made it sure that it survived. And this could have played out way better. So, in conclusion, was it a second tank issue? Or was it just we weren't playing to our team's strengths issue?
Was it playing to our strengths?
Yeah, that's all. And this is why I'm super stubborn. Like, if you watch me on stream, a lot of people are like, swap from that, swap from this, swap from that. But I always explain it's not cap. It's just I'm playing not properly, personally. So then I don't swap. I only swap when I know it's not going right. Now, maybe in your head at this particular moment, because you didn't know at the time, swapping was probably more beneficial. However, now we understand that we weren't playing to our team comp. We were playing and trying to force it, and that's just not what we're good at. These aren't force type characters. So when you get to that situation where you think you need to swap, just think about why. And then you'll be able to dissect if you need to or not. Some characters just only play well when they have ult. Their team, they don't need ult to be online. Right? You have Luna that's good without ult. You have Cloak and Dagger that's pretty decent without ult. Groot definitely doesn't need ult. Penny, again, she's defending. She's not going on offense, so she doesn't need ult herself. There's a lot of people that don't need it. And so the only time you guys can play is just if you have ult. So I honestly think you played a great Jeff game, but it wasn't enough to like carry some of these situations. Unfortunately, even though some of the fights, like when you traded 1-for-1 with Luna ult, that was great. But you see how you tried to replicate that there when she ulted again and you tried to go into ult to match the ult. It didn't work out that well. This is why you have to pay attention to like understanding, is it best for me to ult now or not? Best for me to ult now or not? You can't just replicate the same Jeff ult over and over because it just doesn't work. That's the hard part about Jeff, and that's why I always hate having him on my team. It's hard. The character is just hard. It's not that he sucks. He's hard, and many players struggle with playing that character, especially in high ranks. But I think you're on the right path to being able to be more of a benefit to your team. You're kind of playing kind of like how I do. But we do need to be a little bit more aware about where can we stand, especially if we're going against something like a Penny, or if we can get a little bit more ahead of the game. Even being like right here is a really cool spot. Just be more aware of how many spots on the map you can be in, and then just thinking about how am I using my ult? Am I going to need to use it to counter their ult, whether it's a support, DPS, or tank? Do I need to just wait it out and let my team play the game first and ult as a backup ult? Because in this particular fight, ulting first wasn't the play, but in that other fight with the Luna, you ulting before the Rocket was the play. So, dissecting that type of gameplay. It's hard, but you're on the right track, and I think you're doing better with your positioning. But just be a little bit more preemptive about how you do it. But again, for the most part, I think you're doing a good job. It's just you're going to have to continue to play this character to get all that down packed. The cool part of though, everything that we talked about is transferable. So no matter if you're playing Jeff, Rocket, Luna, Cloak and Dagger, whatever, everything's still transferable with how you want to play. It's just Jeff and Rocket have a little bit more wiggle room about where they want to stand. So I know we went over a little bit for this match, but I really wanted to kind of hit that point home because that was definitely one of the things that's keeping you from being more impactful. It's just knowing where to position preemptively and knowing when you should be using that ult, and obviously swapping. The benefits of swapping and your team, you need to wait for people to use their ult. So those are the things that I kind of wanted to hit home, but harder on. But for the most part, do you understand what I'm saying? You have any questions or comments or concerns about that or anything else of the replay?
No, I think I got it.
For sure, for sure. Obviously, if you have any questions, just let me know. If you're like, hey, Poppin, I had a game where I did move a little bit forward, like you said, and kind of how you did before, where you sent me that replay. Yeah, like, oh, I did it. What you said, Poppin, was just right, or like, just hit me with the replay code, and I can get back to you pretty quickly. All right.
All right.
All right. Have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you later. All right. And for the rest of you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that coaching session. I think we learned a lot. I think they had a lot of great thought processes when it comes to dissecting how they want to fight and why they position and why they do things. This is why I ask a lot of questions, because I want you to know why you're doing something. So a lot of the times, it might seem like you're doing something incorrectly, but you're not. I'm just trying to see why. There's a lot of great plays that this player did that was very beneficial to his team. But you can see the inconsistencies of, if you can continue to do great plays throughout the entire match, you have a higher chance of winning. However, sometimes there was great plays here and then an absence of great plays, and then we went to a great play again. We can continue to just great play, great play, great play with great play. That's how you can continuously start winning more matches and consistently start climbing. And it's difficult with Jeff, but as we see, we already have the foundation for this character. So they did really, really well, and I'm happy for it. If you guys want your own coaching session, of course, check that link down below, as I always say. And if you guys would like your specific VOD review, check for that link down below as well. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, you know what I always say. You guys are doing what? Popping often. Pull off.